Okay, well the stem is, the tenon's dried in the stem now, so now I can start on shaping the stem and getting that smooth, and also just filing on the pipe to get the shape really close so I can start doing my rustication. So I'm not gonna, I'll just go in and just show for just a second how I kind of go in with the file, but it can take a little while, so I'm not going to videotape the whole thing. But here's the files I have, just some small files and a small round file. The small round file is mainly for getting in this transition and just smoothing this out. This would be a lot more critical if I was doing a smooth pipe, and that's why smooth pipes for me take so much longer, is just going in and just making sure that light shines on it, it's smooth all over and no bumps or ripples. But what I do on the transition with the stem is I just come in just going around like this just to start smoothing it out, getting the high spots out. And it's good to have a nice bright light. You can see like this one here is just a cheap little light that's got a bright halogen bulb on it, so then that way I can see any raised spots. And really this is it, is just keep going in a round motion like this, so you keep that nice and smooth and rounded, and keep that transition going around even. And then on the sides here, where I have some of the high spots, I'll come in here and same thing. And this is a pretty fine file that I'm using now, so when I'm done filing, it's really all I need to do is I take a little 600 grit sandpaper to it. On the sides where I'm going to be rusticating it, I'm not going to worry about it. In here I'll take 600 grit sandpaper, then I'll take 1500 grit sandpaper, and that should be smooth enough. So I'm going to go ahead, file this, get this pretty much complete, and then after this my next step will be rustication. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the video camera off now while I file on this for a while and get that ready for the next step. Okay, you can see I've kind of gone in with the file now and really got it smoothed out. See if I can zoom in on this a bit. And so got it smoothed out. Then I took a rougher, what grit is this? 220 grit to really start getting the shape after the filing. Now I'm actually going in with 600 grit, getting it smooth, and I'm going to leave this area right where the stem meets the stem of the pipe. I'm going to have this smooth so you can see some of the wood grain, so the rustication will run right up to about right in here. So I'm going to get this transition really smooth. So I'm coming in with the 600 grit now. And once I get it sanded down a bit, then I'm going to recheck it in the light by holding it to see if I can see any shadows, any spots where I need to hit it with the, re-hit it with a file a little bit. I already see one. Once you start going over it with the 600 grit, any kind of little imperfections in the vulcanite really pops out. So now it's just a matter of just sanding this down, doing a little touch up with the file here and there. You can see there's a little bit of a, starting to get a little bit of a shine to it and starting to smooth out. It won't get the real shine until I buff it with the tripoli compound on the buffing wheel and then the final carnauba. Then you get that real high shine. But right now I'm just trying to get this a little more smooth, and then I'm going to start the rustication with the Dremel tool. Okay, well, I'm out on my deck now and I'm going to put the rustication on. I have the stem ready to go. One thing that I'll do is before I buff the stem, I'm going to heat it and put a bend in it. But getting ready to do this, it's actually kind of a warm day here. I'm up in the Sierra Nevadas, and out on my deck is a little nicer than the shop, and here's kind of my backyard view. So it's like living in the mountains. But let's get to doing some rustication on this. And I'll show you the bit that I'm using. Here's my Dremel. You can see it's one of the little round carbide bits. And that one works really good. Okay. Definitely hearing protection for the Dremel. And what I'm going to do here, see if I can adjust the camera at a good angle. I'm going to start with my initial kind of little cuts around this top edge. Then usually I'll come in, do the bottom. Then I'll come in here, then I'll start filling in, and then just kind of freehanding it from there to whatever looks good. And one thing that's a good idea is to take your stem off so you don't nick it with the Dremel tool. Also makes it easier to get at the pipe. Okay, you can see still have a little bit of work to do, but it won't take too long. And remember where I had some of these little high spots in here? I'm going to go ahead and even that out with the rustication. So I'll go ahead, finish this up, then I'll start the video back up on my next step. Okay, now I have the rustication done on the pipe or with the Dremel tool. So now what I'm doing is I'm coming in, and let's see if I can zoom into this. What I'm trying to do is round over this edge here. I want it to round in so it almost looks like it's kind of been worn into this texture here. Back this up a bit. So what I'm doing is right now, where I had more of a hard edge, I'm coming with the file and I'm softening up this edge here. I'm going to file this down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. This kind of defeats the purpose of me using the 1500 grit sandpaper on the lathe, but you know, when it's on the lathe, I do it then just in case I don't want to, you know, it's just easier to do that there in case I decide to keep a nice smooth top on it. This is going to be a nice smooth top, but I'm kind of rounding out this top edge. I think it'll be kind of a neat look when it's done. Then what I do for the rustication next is actually come in with my file and I hit the high spots. So I'm knocking off those high spots. And this is a real fine file, so it leaves a good finish. Then I come over this with 600 grit and 1200 grit. Can't see it from the camera, I'm sure, but I'm actually getting a shine on these tops now. And you want to be careful when you're with your file that you don't leave a hard cut line in your briar. I'm just kind of carefully coming in, knocking off those high spots. And what this will do by knocking off the high spots and coming in with the sandpaper, next step I'm going to stain this with actually use leather dye. And first thing I'm going to dye the whole pipe black. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to sand off all the black, but in all the low spots it's going to keep the, it's not going to be black, it's going to be a very dark brown. Then once I have that all sanded off, then I'm going to come in with a light brown and stain the pipe. So that'll give you the contrast, and up here on the top, the bottom, and here the black will make that grain pop. That's that's also, if you do that on a smooth pipe, that's how you get your grain to really stand out, is because the dye soaks into the softer grain but not into the hard grain. So when you sand it off, you get that really nice grain. So I'm going to continue in here. I'm going to sand this down. Then I'm going to come in with 600 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to just start sanding it, and this is going to start smoothing it out a bit, smoothing those top hard edges out. Then once I have it sanded down with 600 grit, then I'm going to come in with 1200 grit. And you know what I'm probably going to do on this pipe is I'm going to just come in with 600 grit, stain it black, then do my 1200 grit. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this from now, and once I have this sanded, I'm going to come back and do the video on staining it.